Hi all once again. Merry Turkeys to you all. Hope you had a great Christmas, and I suppose a lot of you are looking forward to the new year, especially tomorrow night and the following day. However, let's crack on with this then. So this one will take us into the new year. The last video I did was the RAF rescue knife that we used at the siege. This one is Rusty Firmin, the man with no gloves. Been asked a million times, if you look at the picture above me, why didn't you wear gloves? It's in my books, which I'll come into in a minute, but in the meantime, these are the famous gloves. Okay, we'll talk about them in a second. Why wasn't I wearing them? Story in itself, really. So before I do that, just quickly recap this time. I'm not going to enlarge a whole lot on anything. You've seen it before. This is Go Go Go, definitive story of the Iranian Embassy siege. Okay, Jamie Bell on the front plays Rusty Firmin in the film 6 Days, which is out on Netflix as we speak. Lots of good reviews. The regiment, 15 years in the SAS, from when I was born really all the way through to when I finished, 1992. Lots of stories in there as well. So both on Audible as well. All you need to do is go to my website, okay, where you'll find my print, the resolution, and my other print up there, the other print, the surrender, June the 14th, 1980, the last day, I beg your pardon, 1982, the last day of the Falklands War. That's Port Stanley Airfield, and I'm stood in front of a Bakara aircraft, and that's the print from it. All the stuff I've got and shown you and other stuff, just go to my website, www.rusty-firmin.org/shop. Take a look on there. Everything that is on there I sign and send from home to individuals. It doesn't matter where they are, and I get them out just as quickly as I can. I think people who've had stuff from me, I've never had a complaint. I beg your pardon, I've had one complaint that I remember anyway. So it's all on there. Take a look. Expat Radio, I mentioned in the last video I did. One show, the only show I've done so far, is being replayed this Friday, 12 to 1, okay, which is New Year's Day. My next live event show is on the 8th of January, which is a week Friday. As soon as I get a guest lined up, I'll let you know. So, something else to look at. In the meantime, as I said, I'm going to talk about the gloves. Let me just give you an introduction on these gloves themselves. Okay, if you take a look, they're just what were bog standard RAF pilot's gloves. Lots of the likes of the helicopter pilots and stuff wore them. But like the coveralls, like the rescue knife, these were already in service. You know how cheapskate the army is. They ain't going to go out and buy any Gucci kit. However, they did after the siege. What they're going to give you is what you stand up in. Okay, if it's already on the shelf, they're going to fork out basically. And that's how we came to have these. The pilot's knife, the coveralls. Okay, already there. Give them it, put it on, off you go, lads. Yeah, pretty much like that. As I say, it all changed after the siege. So basically, if you look at them, we had more than one set of gloves. We had pilot's gloves, and we had another set of gloves as well. But if you look at them, okay, pretty much, that's my right hand, pretty much skin tight, which means outside of your own skin on your hand, preferred by most for shooting the likes of the MP5 and the Browning high power handgun. Very good, but I still like no gloves. If you look at the leather that they're made out of, okay, very much like a chamois leather. Okay, if you have a look at the inside and then have a look at the outside, so you could liken it to a chamois leather to some degree. However, I've never fired a chamois leather. All things are possible. Inside these gloves, and you can't see them now, probably because it's age related, but you can see certain round circles and stuff that are on there. They have got what you can't read, numbers and stuff in, which relate to the military. They number everything. Even I had an army number. Stand still long enough, you get a number given to you. So, but pretty good. And at the time, I didn't have any complaints, apart from you can't see your knuckles, and everybody likes to see knuckles. So just a quick outline of the type of glove we had, it made use of, and it worked. The question is, why did I not have gloves on May the 8th, 1980, when we rescued the 19 remaining hostages? Why? Well, the story has never changed. Okay? We'd been stood down as we were going through the 6 days, and that just basically means a deadline approaches, maybe a critical one. They stand to the team just in case it goes wrong, you're ready to go. Stand down just means, okay, the deadline's passed, probably got another deadline, and you sort of go back into a different mode, okay? However, at all times, these always by rights, and I can tell you now, body armor, okay, my gloves always used to go down the front of my body armor. Always. I couldn't lose them. However, May the 5th, 1980 was also when the snooker was on, and the snooker final the Embassy World Championship snooker final was on, and Alex Higgins playing Cliff Thorburn, and in between things like the stand to, stand down, we'd go back into the room next door. The telly's always on, and we just watched some more frames of snooker while we were waiting. Hardly hyped up for what was coming up next. However, this is what we did as a team. I'd sit there with Johnny Mack and a few other guys, always having a laugh and a joke, having a brew, telling jokes. John gets his little plastic frog out, you know, starts annoying everybody. My gloves somehow ended up on the table where my brew was, and they stayed there until we got the final call, which indications were that this was going to be it. However, when we got that call, and me being a leader, I left my gloves on the table when we went to get into position. Just quite casually, everybody knew where they were going, including myself. However, it wasn't till I got outside the building that I went for my gloves, and they weren't there. However, it didn't make any difference. I wasn't going back for a pair of gloves. Okay, this was going to be the final assault to rescue the hostages. And it was. So, what do? Me, just went along with it. Okay, I haven't got any gloves. Big deal. I can shoot with and without gloves quite comfortably. So we get into position. It took us 16 minutes to get there. Yes, I was thinking about my gloves, but actually I was thinking about rescuing the hostages. Much more important than a pair of gloves. And then the famous picture above me, the print, where Rusty's in the middle with no gloves, that is captured by the police snipers on the day. I didn't know. We went ahead, got into position, and years later, after the event, when we were given the pictures and so on, there's a whole host of pictures out. Once we were given them and saw what went on, it was quite obvious. But having said that, if that picture there had never been taken by a police sniper, then would there have been a film called 6 Days Come Out? Because this had very much to do with it. Okay, I was a leader. Jamie Bell plays me in the film on Netflix. Okay, that was us going into the library. Okay, May the 5th, 1980. Bank holiday Monday. The day the snooker's going to finish, or designed to finish on that day. So once again, how many times has it been called the most famous hands in SAS history? And I don't mean that as a big-headed thing. I mean because they've been shown worldwide on the television, on the movie screen, black and white pictures. How many times has it been seen? And the answer is quite a lot. So that's the story so far of why the no gloves. After we carried out the mission to rescue the hostages, and we then cleared the building. Yes, it was set fire to the building next door. The holding area where my gloves were, where the television was, wasn't really touched. So we made our way back into there. I picked up my gloves off the table, exactly where I left them. Put them back down my body armour, albeit a bit late, but I knew where they were. So that's the story. And nobody can tell you a different story to that, even if they want to. So if there's any Waltz listening, hop it, because they will tell you their story. They will tell you how they swamped the balcony. No. Okay. I know what happened to my gloves. It's in my book, Go, Go, Go. It's in the film, 6 Days. So there it is from the horse's mouth. And for one last time, there's my gloves. And I haven't got body armour on, so I can't slide them down there, so I can't lose them. So until the next one, keep the comments coming in. You will see that I do answer as many as I can. Some of the private messages and stuff, I try to answer them as best I can, albeit it is time consuming. And I'm still trying to get more done. But with everything that's gone on, Christmas, New Year, the elections, all this COVID, if you don't wear your gloves, wear your mask. So they say. And until next time, when I start the stories again, which should be in a few days' time, hope everybody has a great new year, and look forward to catching up with as many as possible once this is over. I get back on the road, do some serious stuff, north and south of England, anywhere. And we're at the EU. Oh, brilliant. Couldn't be any better. So watch this space, and bye for now. Who dares wins.